Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I do what praises and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kakodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of great mercy and I do well. Salutation to the Akim preaching the truth. And sincerity to the four corners of the earth. This is Brother Yakali here coming to you with another lesson. Lord's willing it be edifying to the spirit. As you just saw, the Statue of Liberty crumbling. Right, and the reason why, and this is a serious omen because firstly, the Statue of Liberty was like a commemoration or a sign of good faith between France and America. Right, let me see if I get a piece of information here. Right, I have it queued up. It says the Statue of Liberty was built as a gift from France to the US to celebrate their enduring friendship and shared ideals of liberty and democracy, commemorating the American Revolution and the abolition of slavery. Now, we know that they built it and America built the pedestal, right? But what we understand is that the Statue of Liberty goes back into they finding a new way to also enslave us, because slavery never got abolished, first thing first, right? And the word liberty, I'm gonna go into that. This is the word liberty. It says the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. Now, in society, we were never free to begin with. We were never free to go where we wanted. We need a passport, we need an ID card. You're never free to drive where you want. You need a license. You're not free in any way. But yet, they have a Statue of Liberty claiming that when they built this was for the abolition of slavery. Right? And France, they paid for the statue. But we know this is not true, because we are still under oppression. Our people still. See scripture say. See if I get that real quick. This is Matthew 11 and verse 12. Right, it says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. But the point was 12, right? Where it says the kingdom of heaven suffered violence. Right? Because the kingdom of heaven is within us, and we suffered violence. The scripture in Deuteronomy 28 and the last verse, I believe. Yeah, 68. Let us read 68. It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. But goes back into Egypt, goes back into bondage, slavery. Right, with ships, because that's how we came. That was our transport, means of transport to coming across here. Shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. There ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, slave man and slave woman. But here it says here, and no man shall buy you, no man shall redeem you, no man shall free you, but until Yahweh shall come. You understand? You're not gonna be free until Yahweh shall come. So going back to the Statue of Liberty falling, right? It is a big omen, because now we're gonna see their liberty falling, because the liberty that they're going into is we call it, it's freedom. Because one of the definitions was saying free to do what one will. Right, let me see. Because when I thought the biggest meaning is freedom, but let me get online etymology. Alright. Okay, it's here. Let's be out, man. It says liberty. Free choice, freedom to do as one chooses Also freedom from the bondage of sin, free will, which we know is not true, civil or political freedom, right? And the ones I'm not free that they feel like they could do anything and no one is seeing them is who? The oppressor, because it says free from oppression in one of the definitions, right? Let's see what this precept saying here. This is the book of Zephaniah 11. No, not Zephaniah. Zechariah. Salakia. Zechariah 11 and 15. It says, and the Lord said unto me, take unto thee yet the instruments, no, Salakia. 11 and 15. This is not 15, is 5. Right? This is Zechariah 11 and 5. It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. And this is Esau. They hold themselves not guilty. You understand? They basically say the Lord did these things unto us. The Lord is the one put us in slavery. You understand? And it's like this Statue of Liberty. You know, it's they're commemorating their new way of putting us into slavery. Think about it. And now we see the liberty, we see it falling because it is a representation of them, their kingdom, and their what they so-called liberty is also falling, it crumbling, the kingdom coming and crumbling. I believe this happened yesterday, right? I was watching the clip, and it was the Apache spirit. And this is the replica, right? This is the one that is in Brazil, but we know the real, the original is in America, and that one soon fall too, or burn, however you call it. But what one of the things what they said was, is a strong gust of wind folded it. Who's to say that wasn't a chariot or angel? Because we know the Lord sends out his angels on different missions, and this is something where it is easy to believe, it's easy to understand. You understand? This please comment to end. I'm gonna get a precept. Alright, but before I go bring it up precept, let me just clarify again. The Statue of Liberty represents freedom, one, something that we just debunked, because you're not free, no man shall buy you until Yahweh Shemi Shai sends Yahweh sends Yahweh Shai, and he comes back and claims and takes over this place, right? Two, it represents democracy. Now democracy is a system, basically a government by the whole population, you know, of members. Esau and the crafty council, this is what it is, a democracy, right? A constitutional government, a elective government. This is what democracy represents. You understand? And if you want to break it down into simple terms, it's a system where power, where they that are in power come together and make all the laws, all the rules, and this is what the Statue of Liberty represents. You understand? It represents freedom, as they say, which is not true, which we not free. None of us are. And then it represents democracy, secondly. And then it represents hope. It says hope and welcome. Right? Hope. What hope is there in trusting in Babylon? What hope is there? There's a hope that they will get a chip one day. You understand? There's a hope that they're gonna put that mark of the beast into you. You hoping that better days gonna come, and they hoping that you become docile. You understand? Docile to the system. To me, that Statue of Liberty is a mockery. It is obviously the total opposite of what they say it is. It's not a representation of freedom, but a representation of slavery. And when it says democracy, right there, they prove that it's not a representation of freedom. They contradict themselves, because they say freedom and then it says democracy. But democracy is a governing body. So that means that they that govern this place, they have a lot of people set up governing this place, and then it says hope. You understand? A beacon of freedom, it says. Right? Where the torch in her hand, it says the torch represents enlightenment, lighting the way to freedom. right? While the tablet in her hand, right, it talks about the Declaration of Independence, July 4th. I believe that is in the 1700s, right, where it talks about independence, where also it represents alliance between France and the United States, right? But we understand clearly that this was they spreading their drinking of the cup. Now let me get that precept. All nations. I believe that Revelation 18. This book of Revelation chapter 18 and verses, let's start from 1. From verse 3 straight to the point. Revelation 18 and 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So this is what it is. When these nations were cheering on America, is either they were scared or they drink out of a cup of philosophies. They were Americanized. They set up that same government body, you understand, that same democracy in all these countries, and they spread it, and all these other nations drink of it as well too. What we here to tell you now is that America is going to fall. She's not gonna stand. You understand? She's not gonna stand. Just like how yesterday a Statue of Liberty fall in Brazil, they're gonna see America fall, and she's gonna fall hard, right? I got one precept here to close with. This is a quick one. Just looking at that video, that's through the Spirit, I want to say something on it. We got next precept here to close with. Right, Isaiah 47. It's Isaiah 47 and verse 1. It says, Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, because you see the statues on a pedestal, right? Come and sit in the dust, in confusion, there is no throne, right? O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. No more, where it says a beacon of hope, where it also says freedom, bullshit. And they will know what we call these things, because this is not what they are. They are a beacon of depression, oppression, distress. You understand? This is what they are. They stress out people and oppress nations and kingdoms. And scripture say the nations are mad. Right? So Lord's willing, this lesson that I find through the Spirit and power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kakodash, double honor to the elders and apostles of great medicine and rule well. Salutation to the Yaki and preaching his truth to the four corners of the earth in sincerity. Shalom, shalom, shalom.